Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. Hello, greetings, everybody. It is Mahala Monday. It is wonderful to have you with us here this morning. Rhoda, how's it?
It is good, Dougal, and yourself. Welcome, everybody, on this very cold morning. I must say, my hands are still quite chilly right now.
I just think I don't want to say you cold all the time, but you're right.
Yes, yeah.
You're absolutely right.
I get very cold, yeah. So now you'll see wintertime sleeves are all long, not up here.
But it's really great having you along with us on Mahala Monday today, of course. Very excited about this episode, as we always are. And today, of course, let's get straight into it, because firstly, I would just want to remind you, we're live on YouTube, on Facebook, and also right now on Clubhouse, so you can definitely join us there. And we look forward to your questions and your comments, because we've got a wonderful special guest that we're going to introduce to you. But getting straight stuck into what the topic is about today, something that is actually very serious.
Very serious. You know, it's something that affects all of us, and I think especially Dougal during COVID, it was something that was highlighted basically regarding you as somebody that's working as without a salary.
Yes.
Are you covered? If you died, or were you going to basically on the edge of COVID, was it going to take your life? Wasn't it going to take your life? That's exactly where we were balancing, you know?
It certainly was. And when we look at those concerns, because we all have those concerns, if everybody's got that concern. And more importantly, what we do, and when I say what we do, what Rhoda does on Mahala Monday, we have a serious concern. Then she goes and finds people that know all about it. And today we're going to talk really about financial services. And this brings to the fore the reason why we would like to welcome Dominique from DVT Financial Services, who's joining us today. And hopefully she'll answer some of our questions, and more importantly, your comments and questions, if you have any. So, Dominique, good morning, and thank you very much for your time, and welcome to Mahala Monday.
Good morning, you guys.
Morning, Dominique, morning. So I think we're going to jump straight into this now, and because, you know, it's quite a serious topic as well, and we want to give you some time at least to answer some questions, and I think Dougal and myself got quite a bit of questions there as well. So could you give us an overview of your services, please, if possible?
DVT services help clients to take control of their finances by making their money work for them and not them working for their money, by putting the following steps in place: a budget, income protection, medical aid, gap cover, an emergency fund, investments like a tax-free savings account, direct investments, and retirement annuities and planning, disability cover, life cover, and wills.
Wow.
So those are some of the services the services that you cover. There's a couple of things that you said there in that intro. You said make their money work for them and not the other way around, which I want to come back to. But I actually want to delve in straight into, because the very last thing you mentioned there, and please forgive me for saying this, it might be a bit of a uncomfortable conversation, and I want to start right there. You mentioned wills, right?
Yes.
So lasting will and testaments, this is what we're talking about now.
Yes.
No, it's by no means an easy subject to talk about and to plan for it, but it's something you should prioritize for you and your loved ones, especially in this time, not especially now because of COVID, but it happens. They're for certain, and it doesn't only affect you, it affects your loved ones around you.
Yeah.
After all, you want to take control of your life works. Recent research conducted by life insurance company One Life indicated that 70% of their clients do not have a will. Furthermore, the survey revealed that significant amount of people does not know what a will entitles, where to get one drawn up, and don't deem them necessary. Drawing up a will is about control of your estate and taking care of those you leave behind. Should you die without a will, your estate will be distributed in terms of the law of interstate succession. That means that the beneficiaries you may never have wished to inherit might benefit, while those you genuinely care for and would want to benefit might be left with no legal entitlement to your assets or estate. Having a valid will is a certain way to avoid unintended consequences.
Wow.
There are also many other benefits of having a will, such as the ability to appoint guardians for any minor children, keeping helpful records of assets that surviving relatives might not be aware of, and limiting tax payable on deceased estates. It is advisable to have a person with the necessary legal knowledge and experience drawing up your will. they will have the expert knowledge that will ensure that your will is clear and reflects your true intentions. Besides, you don't want an unnecessary error rendering your will invalid.
Okay. Just on, sorry, Dougal.
Yeah, Dominic, sorry. How long? I mean, if the assumption, let's assume I do not have a will. Let's assume I do. I actually do, but let's assume I don't. Because how long does it actually take somebody now to draw it up? I mean, obviously, I could come to you and say, Dominic, please, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, I am. I've got house, car, a couple of savings policies, this and the other, 2 dependents, 3, 4, no dependents, whatever it is. How long does it, I mean, what is the information that I need before I actually knock on your door and say, listen, I need help with a will, help a person out here? What is the homework I must bring along?
Okay, for you, the homework that you need to bring along is to who you want your estate to go to. So I need ID numbers or date of birth, and that's really all I need.
Is it?
Okay. And then just on that, I mean, looking at 70%, it is quite high at the end of the day. And I think this is a common question and a topic that always comes out in families as well regarding wills. And it's always a scary subject, especially when you're sitting around the table, you know. And I do find that a lot of, and many times when I do sit and have these conversations, people actually don't have a will. So, and I just wanted to ask you as well, a lot of people actually think at the end of the day, because they actually don't have necessarily money, finance, they actually think for the fact that they don't need a will. What is your opinion on this?
The truth is, if you earn a salary, have savings in your bank, or own a few personal belongings, you should consider having a will, because you have assets that can go to somebody. And if you die without a will, the state will look after your estate, and it can take very longer to wind up your estate. And also then your estate, your belongings can go to other people. Like if you're alone and you don't have a spouse or a child, then your stuff can go to your parents and then to your siblings. And a lot of people don't like their siblings and don't want their siblings to get their stuff.
Yeah. So just to go back, you touched on estate, and a short while ago when you were telling us the broader picture of the wills, you mentioned the word interstate.
Yes.
Now, interstate doesn't mean moving from 2 states to a different state. In this instance, it means the state is in control of your estate.
Yeah. So if you die interstate, it means that, like, if you have a family, I will use myself as, I've got myself and my husband. So if I die without a will, all my stuff will go to my husband. If he's not there anymore, it will go to my daughter. If both of them died with me, it would go to my parents. And if they weren't there, it will go to my brother.
All right.
Okay. So in a case of, like, say, a will is 10 years old, and it was never signed by the person that passed away, and in that time, basically, a child was born, which a child wasn't obviously there before, then who, in that case, is the will valid, and who actually then inherits or basically gets
the will wasn't signed, so it's not valid. So it would be an interstate estate again.
So it must be signed and have the witnesses and that have the whole protocol.
Yeah. So a witness can't be somebody that benefits from the will.
Oh, okay.
So it must be somebody that doesn't benefit from the will.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow, interesting.
Because there's quite a bit around wills, and I'm sorry for starting off on wills, because it is a bit of an uncomfortable topic, but it is definitely something that, I mean, just listening to you now, that we would definitely agree on. It's something everybody should have. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you put on a jacket when it's cold. Just do this.
And especially if you've got minor children, do you want the state to choose where your children go that they see fit, or do you want your children to go to somebody that you know love them and want them?
So true. So important.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody out there that's listening at the moment, it is vital. And I think sometimes, you know, you're looking at the situation and you're looking at yourself. Sometimes even your pots or your pans or your clothing can become a battle and can be a fight after somebody passes on. So if there's a special jacket you want to give somebody, you know what, do a will and set it out exactly who must get what. There's no fighting then. So the next thing we want to chat about, and I think we could probably have another episode just on wills at the end of the day, because it is something that is quite important. And the next thing that people don't really like doing is what we call a budget. What's the advantages of a budget?
Budget is the most basic and effective tool of managing your money, but yet most people avoid doing it because it's additional work, much like cutting your lawn or fixing the roof. Budget also implies that you must give up and stop yourself from enjoying stuff.
Yeah.
What a budgeting actually does is clearly show you how you allocate your money and present you the choices on what stuff to enjoy based on your financial limitations. It will save you grief of overspending and being in too much debt. Although budgeting is indeed more work, it pays off with many life enhancing benefits. It gives you control over your money. It keeps your focus on your money goals. It makes you aware what is going on with your money. It helps you organize your spending and savings, makes you decide in advance how your money will work for you. It enables you to save for expensive and expected and unexpected costs. It enables you to communicate with your significant others about money. It provides you with an early warning for potential problems. It enables you to produce extra money. Budgets have one big drawback. For it to work, you must abide by it. It does not really save you from bad spending habits. It only gives you a goal and reference to help you stay focused.
Yeah. So the proof is in the pudding. Do you do a budget?
Yes.
You do a budget? Do you do a budget?
Off and off, yeah. Business I do, personal side, yeah, that's a difficult one.
and you stick to it, Dominique. You stick to your budget all the time, personal and professionally.
It's a difficult one. We all struggle with it, but
Yeah.
I've got, there's definitely the warning signs can come up before, so I can start, like, we need to put stuff in place because we're going to have a big expense like in 2 months' time. And so there is, yes, I do abide by it.
Yeah, as far as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also with the budget, and I think especially now with COVID, where people actually had salary cuts and that
Yeah.
obviously would affect their budget because your expenses necessarily still up there and you know your salary is being dropped. Am I correct?
You know what? Sorry, and let me just say this. Even if pre-COVID, if you didn't do a budget, you pretty much budget man now.
Oh yeah. I think so as well.
That is true. I think a lot of people, if they don't budget, they always say that they don't have money. And then I've got a client that I help with the budget. So she was a chartered accountant. You would think her budget would be awesome. She didn't have a budget at all. And then when we sat down with her budget, there was 7,000 Rand that they spent in the month that they didn't know where it went.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think to have a budget just tells you where your money goes. Even if it's just start looking at what are you spending on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. No, very much. We just got a comment quickly. I just want to go to one of the live posts. Elizabeth Barden, thank you very much for your comment. It says, thank you for your support to everybody, Dominique. It's so important to have the information and to make wise choices. So that is a compliment directly for you, which is wonderful because these are the things that you need. You need the budget. You need all of that, and we want to talk about disability cover because I think that is a big one. Also, we also want to touch base quickly on life cover because these are things that are super important. So
there's two different life cover products out there. So the first one is income protection. So even thought about the event, if something happens to you due to illness or injury, how are you going to pay for everything? So we were talking about COVID, losing our salaries or cutting it in half. But what if we don't get a salary at all? What do we do then? Can our parents look after us? Can our spouse support us? Or do we need that safety net that we know that we're going to get a percentage of our salary paid out every month to us?
Yeah.
So income protection is a very important overall risk plan and financial strategy that we have to look at.
Okay. Yeah. And I think especially chatting regarding COVID-19, I think a lot of I think a lot of people found themselves thinking that they were covered in that time of COVID, but you need to be a bit more specific in your cover, basically, just to say exactly more or less specifics on how you're going to get paid out if there is a crisis. Because I think
And
that was
also
one of
what
the
your need
downfalls.
is. So sometimes we just take out, like the other day I was standing in the queue in the bank and somebody was taking out disability cover, like income protection, and it was only for accidental cover. So you need to know what you are covered for. So accidental cover, it's only if you're in an accident. So if you get sick, that's not an accident. So you won't have any cover. So it's very important to know what you're covered for.
Yeah.
So just on that one with the disability, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use your limbs or your arms or something happened that you actually can't continue your profession?
Okay. So with income protection, it's like I can't, so you get two different ones, but the one that I usually sell my clients is that I can't work. So I've got, like, it's not like forever, it's like you can, temporary and permanent disability cover. So the income protection. So if I get like a hip replacement and I have to be off work for 3 months. So you only get 30 days sick leave and then you've got your normal leave and then there's then you have to start taking unpaid leave. So your income protection can give you money for that for a certain period. Okay. So it's not only for if you can't work forever, it's for certain times also. Yeah. Like if I get bronchitis and I'm self-employed, what do I do now? I'm off for a month. If I can't work, my employees can't work. So how do I help them? So income protection comes in there to fund that, to get everything in place. But there's the other side also from disability cover. So if you are permanently disabled and you get a lump sum. So the big thing that we also, so we covered our income, so we're getting our income, but what now if I'm in a wheelchair? What do I do now? Can I drive my car or do I need to buy a new car or just my car? Can I go and make myself coffee or make myself food or do I need to redesign my kitchen? Am I able to go to the bathroom or do I need to make my bathroom bigger? Wow. So that's where the disability lump sum comes in, to adjust your environment for you to live with your disability.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
All right. And this is, I suppose, goes hand in hand with wills because life cover. I mean, but I suppose we all understand the reason we all must have life cover, I suppose. Dominique?
Life cover is it's a need in different life stages. So somebody that's single that doesn't have any independence, why do they need life cover?
Yeah.
So, but then there's other cases that if you have a spouse or a child or something that's dependent on you, then there is a need for it because you don't want them not to go on with the lifestyle they used to. You want them to be comfortable. So there's also two different life covers. There's one that's life income, and that pays out your dependent a monthly income for a certain amount of time. You can choose anything between, like maybe if you have a child, you want her to have an income till she's 25 and then 24, and then she have to look after herself. So you will cover her university and her school fees and her food and all those stuff. But then you want to look after your spouse. So there's different ways to look after your spouse. You can think your spouse can get married after 5 years, so you just cover her income for 5 years. Or you decide, no, you will look after her till she's 65 and retire, and you get an income for that also. Oh. And why we choose income protection is that also life income is because you help sometimes people don't know how to work with money. So if they get a lump sum, they will maybe buy an expensive car or going on a luxury holidays, or they maybe get another partner and the new partner walk away with all the funds. What then? So that's why we're looking at life income. And then life cover is there for immediate expenses like paying off your debt or your home loan, or help pay you for your funeral and any estate duties.
Yeah.
Sure, that's interesting.
All right, so yeah, in a lot of ways you're scaring me a little, yeah?
Sorry.
No, but it's a good scare because something that is always scary is medical aid, and over the last 10 years or so, the word gap covers constantly come up in normal just conversations as well. Just on your side, because I want to talk about sort of, let's call it golden year savings. I'm making a new phrase, but you know what I mean, right? But in a nutshell, quickly, medical aid gap cover. Is gap cover that important? We know what medical aid does, you know, and we've heard of hospital plans and all of this, but could you just give us a brief overview?
Okay, medical aid, we all know medical aid, and we all think if we take out medical aid, it says 100% cover. But 100% cover means 100% the medical aid rate. Then there's a lot of specialists that say they're not contract in, so they ask more than the medical aid rate. So if the medical aid says they will pay 1,000 Rand and the doctor asks 3,000 Rand, he asks 300% the medical aid rate. The gap cover covers that gap. So they will pay the 2,000 Rand and the medical aid will pay the 1,000 Rand.
Okay.
Gap cover only pays out if now I've got all my words around. Gap cover will only pay out if the medical aid also paid. If the medical aid's not paying, gap cover won't pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I suppose that will all be subject to what you have on your specific plan or option, I think is the word.
Yeah. So gap cover, it's not only for the gap. There's a lot of medical aids that you can only go to like a network hospital. So like we on a network medical hospital plan, and we wanted to go to different hospital because my daughter needs her tonsils being taken out, and we couldn't get place in Panorama, so we went to Nickay River, and then we had to pay a co-payment of 9,000 Rand. Gap cover paid that for us.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
That's good to know.
So, this is the important thing. Now, in the last couple of years, and especially here and abroad, and it's becoming a global phrase, tax-free savings. We're all hearing this all the time now, okay? And what is a tax-free savings account? Very quickly, just tell me exactly what that is, and why is it a good thing to open one?
Okay, a tax-free savings account, it allows you to save for short and long-term goals without paying taxes on any growth or income you earn. So what it means that if there's any interest or capital gain or anything that you earn and you withdraw, you won't pay tax in it. If you had a normal investment account and the interest was more than 33,000 Rand, you will start paying interest on that. And also if you withdraw some money from a normal investment and there was any capital gains tax, you will start paying taxes. And in a tax-free savings account, there's no taxation on it.
So, sorry, Dominic, just to backpedal there for a second. So if you over 33,000 and its current form, then I start paying tax. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So provided that is what you get on a monthly basis?
Yearly.
Yearly.
Annual
Okay.
basis?
Annual.
Annual basis. Okay.
Interest.
Interest.
Oh, the interest.
Yes.
33. Oh,
Interest.
okay.
All
So
right.
if you have a sum of like I don't know the amount now. If you have like R1 million in your bank account and the interest is more than 33,000 Rand, you will start paying on that 33 and 1 Rand. You will start paying taxes on that 1 Rand.
And that will and whatever the tax scale will be for that. So,
It would be in your tax scale that you are currently in at
Yeah.
the moment.
So
Yeah.
and also basically also and then just to be clear, if I am exactly 33,002 cents, then obviously I pay a little bit tax. But Rhoda now has got 250,000, so she pays a little more tax.
Yes.
Whatever those scales would
Scales would be.
Yeah,
after
and
that.
also what an income tax bracket is. So it's also depending on that.
So now people who work for a salary, they got a provident fund or whether they've got a pension or whatever, is it still a good idea for them to have a tax-free savings account?
So the tax-free savings account would help you just to what's the right word? Sorry, to help you save for retirement, because if you retire, you get that benefit from tax deductions and everything from retirement. But if you withdraw from your retirement, you start paying tax because you didn't pay tax when you put the money in. Here, all the growth, everything is tax-free. So it is a good thing just to have it as a
To have that as well.
Account.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So in your experience, are a lot of people doing that? That they sort of, can I call it a top up on pension fund? Can I call it
Yes.
that? Do a lot of people actually opt for this in addition
Yeah, so,
to?
and also in a tax-free savings account, you can choose in what you invest. So you can take more high risk in a tax-free savings account. And high risk doesn't mean you're going to lose all your money. It's just the growth is going to be bigger in a longer term. Where in a retirement annuity, the state tells you in what you can invest, and you can't take a lot of money overseas, where in a tax-free savings account you can invest overseas and stuff like that.
Wow. So that's something good. You know, I mean, that's a lot of things a lot of people actually not aware of. And I mean, this is quite lovely. And this is exactly what we're doing on the show, is giving you the information at the end of the day that you need. So if there's any questions out there, please pose us some questions and we can ask our expert at the moment, Dominique, if there's anything you'd like to know. So just, we were chatting on this one now, retirement. And this is another topic a lot of us with grey hair don't want to go there. But,
Or nowhere.
or nowhere. You know, this is how they kind of get away with the age thing, you know. But we ladies is very difficult. Retirement. And this is exactly... you know, the topic, it always gets discussed as well. And unfortunately, you start looking at this and the age after 50s, 60s, you know, it hits all of us. Unfortunately, we're all going to have to retire one day, even though we don't want to. What is a comfortable, what do you need to retire comfortably, I would say?
So everybody needs is different. So I can't tell you you need 7 million rand in your bank account, because maybe you need 50,000 rand a month and another person needs 20,000 rand a month. So a rule of thumb is, for every 500,000 rand that you have in your bank account, you can draw an income of 2,500 rand per month before you start drawing from your capital.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to save for your retirement if you save for 35 years but you live for 40 years, and that's the reality at the moment. You retire in between 60 and 65, but then you live till 90 and 100. How do you live from your savings? Because it's really difficult to save. So you need to buffer your retirement with other stuff like sideline businesses and getting rental income, like buying property and stuff. And also, if you're 60 is like the new 70, you can still work. Because I know a lot of people that's in their 60s that isn't old anymore. Like when my Oma was 60, she was like really old, and I don't think she would have worked anymore. But now 60 people, they can work. There's a lot of people that work to 75 now, and they're still young.
Yeah.
That is so true.
That is absolutely true. I mean, we're living a lot longer. That is certainly one thing. You know, let's hope that is the case exactly for everybody. But yeah, so it is difficult to gauge how much a person would need to for retirement. Doesn't, I suppose, like you say, it comes down to your lifestyle, your needs, and all of that. But in a nutshell, it is about preparing for that.
And again, we're getting back to a budget. So if you know what your budget is and what your needs are, you can start planning for retirement for what it's going to be.
Okay.
So sorry, Dougal.
Sorry, Rhoda, if I may, if we just got a couple of...
I just want to get Hubert off quickly. Yeah?
All right. We just got a couple of comments quickly that we want to run through. Yes, Rhoda?
I just want to do the chat room quickly. So we got Hubert here at the moment. Hi there, Hubert. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, guys, and good morning, Dominique. I've got more of a statement coupled with a question for Dominique. I did marketing for an NPO previously, well, about 2 years ago. And the one thing we discovered for this retirement old age home is we've noticed a lot of people outlive their investments.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So the statement I've got and the question is, so the question part is, how soon do you start planning for retirement? And then the statement I've got is, retirement is like fun. The older it gets, the more expensive it gets. So the older you get, the more expensive it gets. So in order to avoid outliving your investment, how often should you be reviewing, and how soon should you start, planning for the future?
Did you hear that one?
Thank you, Hubert.
Dominique?
Okay, so to start planning for the future, you have to start today. So if I would say if I had somebody that started speaking to me about all this stuff when I started getting my first paycheck, it would have been awesome. And we're not talking about like when do we start saving. We hear our parents say stuff, but we don't listen to our parents. We listen to their parents. So the thing is, if you can start today with only, if you're like in your 20s and you start saving like 500 Rand a month, it's that interest on interest on interest that makes so much difference. So I have a client that wanted to start saving in his 60s. I said, you have to start saving 80,000 Rand a month. You can't in your 60s save 80,000 Rand a month to retire on 70. But if you start with a 500 Rand when you're in your 20s, it looks a lot better. But also not only do savings, you need to do other investments like buying property, getting sideline businesses, because a salary can't be the only thing that helps you retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it answer your question, Hubert?
It certainly does. Thank you for that, and great show, guys.
Thanks, Hubert.
Thank you, Hubert, for watching. So we've got another quick question comment that I want to pass by you, Dominique, and it goes back to if your interest is over 33,000 per year. And I just want you to confirm that is where you start on a tax-free savings account. That is where you start paying tax. And that's a question we got from Michelle Robinson.
A tax-free savings, you never pay any tax if you stay in the limits. Okay, so I didn't say anything about the limits of tax-free savings account. So you can't put more than 36,000 Rand a year in a tax-free savings account because the tax-free savings were there to help South Africans start saving because South Africans doesn't save. So it's 36,000 Rand a year or 500,000 Rand in your lifetime. But in a normal investment, like in a money market or a direct investment in a unit trust, if your interest is more than 33,000 Rand, you will start paying taxes.
Okay. Thank you very much for just clearing that up again. And also I want to say hi to Pieter and Tanya van Greef and Bradley Hockey. They're all watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know what, Dominique, there is so much. As we went on, there's just so much more that I want to know now, and I'm just so intrigued and everything. But the obvious thing is people would want to get in touch with you. How do they get a hold of you?
They can get, I've got a Facebook page and a website. You can email me at admin@dvtfin.co.za or just give me a phone call or WhatsApp on 079 6299 491.
All right, could you just give me that email again?
It's admin.
Yes.
@dvtfin.co.za.
All right, admin@dvtfin, as in financials.
Yeah.
Got it. Dominique, it's been, you know what, I've got absolutely no more questions. I'm more intrigued now. I know now I need to sort out a budget. And I know, Rhoda, you had a weird question about animals or pets. We'll get to that. But I know I need to get a budget now. I need to make sure my will's are up to date and everything. And future safe. Yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah, so I'm a pet lover. So I just wanted to touch a bit on the pet insurance because this is something that, you know, when you go to the vets, I mean, you need to make 100% sure you got cash in your pocket many a time. So how does this work? How does the pet insurance work?
And secondly, she's been saying this the whole time. Is it even a real thing?
So the pet insurance is like a medical aid. It's designed to cover the unexpected and unforeseen and expensive veterinarian costs that cats and dogs kept as household pets may incur result of illness or injury.
Okay.
So it is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Yes, it is a real thing.
Because pets are a real thing, yes.
If your pet gets sick, it's really expensive.
It is. Ask me, I know. Oh, it is. Thank you so much.
The only thing that you need to know about pet insurance is your pet must be younger than 10 years to
Younger than
take
10.
it out.
Oh.
I've got a tortoise. That's a bit problematic.
It's the same like with medical aid. The older you are, the more expensive you are.
Yeah,
Suppose.
and I just wanted to get a bit of clarity as well. That's not like a life insurance. It is basically a vet insurance.
It's a vet insurance.
Medical
For your
aid.
medical costs.
There we go. It's
Yeah.
clear now, Dougal. That argument
All right.
is clear now.
All right. I didn't believe Rhoda when she was saying, but okay, thank you for clearing that up. Dominique, it has been absolutely
Thank you.
wonderful chatting to you, and thank you so much for your time. Before you go, is there any questions you have for Rhoda?
For Dougal.
Next time if I talk to you, you're going to tell me you've got some of the steps in order.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look, let's. I think let's put a little bit on pressure on Rhoda. She's very organized. Let's make the success rate high. Yeah.
Thank you, Dominique. It was fabulous chatting to you today. And I know this probably would take another show at the end of it because there's so much more to talk about, but we actually cannot go into all your services even. It's just so many.
We wish you well and thank you so much for your time. And thank you once again for joining us on Mahala Mondays. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you for having me.
You have a fabulous week.
Biggest pleasure. So that is Dominique van Tonder. She is with DVT Financial Services. And just to remind you, of course, very easy to get in touch with her. You go to admin at dvtfin.co.za. That is an email, so you can get in touch with her that way. And of course, what I like about it is because she really explains, you know, and this is brilliant about financial services, and especially her now. And that's why we spoke to her, because she sits you down and
That
like
is
really
right.
goes through something. And she mentioned she spoke to somebody who was 60, and you know, like honestly talking to her, look, you're going to have to save 80,000 rand a month. He was talking
That's
to an accountant, all of this. So this is the person you go speak to.
That's the person you speak to. And you know what? It's actually quite lovely. It's not back in the day, you know, when you were younger and you saw the person coming by your door, knocking and speaking to your parents. This is somebody that can talk to you on your level and explain to you in layman's terms exactly what your requirements as a, you know, salary earner.
Yeah, and also it is important around financial services just to have that topic going within your household straight away. Have the topic going. Have the conversation, and then go have a word with Dominique. So once again, thank you very much to Dominique van Tonder, who joined us this morning. That basically wraps up the show from our side.
Have a fabulous weekend, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. All the best, and we will see you soon. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.